What's poppin', people? It's Dante, currently walking around the Schuylkill River here in Philadelphia. Beautiful morning, beautiful day. Echo! I love the acoustics in here, it's fun. So yeah, just getting the morning started, thinking of this notion of YOLO, right? You only live once. I think it's a good motto to live by, right? Recently I've been thinking about this a lot. I woke up this morning remembering, you know, just thinking of some memories of my time spent in both Israel and Africa. You know, my curiosity with Israel. I graduated from university after spending 6 months studying in Jerusalem, and I was fueled with curiosity about this place in the world and decided to go back. So I volunteered on a kibbutz in Haifa, and on this kibbutz I was milking cows, I was gardening and engaging in this new community with new people, new customs, new values, new things, living out on this farmland in the northern region of Israel. And you know, I was curious about making photographs and trying to make new work, but I found myself at a dead end. Actually, I was like, there's nothing to photograph here. I don't know, I just had like a lack of inspiration maybe. And well, because of this, I decided to pack my bags in the middle of the night just randomly. And the next morning when I woke up, I took a bus from the north all the way to Jericho, the lowest elevated city in the world. Absolutely incredible place. And yeah, I didn't really like notify anyone. I kind of just did it on my own. You know, the kibbutz, they provide you with like shirts and clothes and stuff, and yeah, I think I like left some of them on like the stoop or whatever, and whatever they gave me, and I just like left. You know, like no note, just like bye. And you know, I took that road all the way to Jericho, and it was a long journey actually. I mean, you have to take multiple buses and things, and by the time I got there, you know, it was like midnight. You know, no one was really out. There was like one little market that was across the street from this hostel that like stays open 24/7. I was like, hello, like, can you help me? Like, where can I sleep? You know, and they luckily knew the people that owned the hostel, and I was able to crash there. And I actually wound up living with this Palestinian family in this hostel space where, you know, I was volunteering there essentially, and I was living there, and I was cleaning up the streets outside of, you know, this like Palestinian refugee camp, burning trash, making the beds in the hostel, gave some like tours to some random wanderers and travelers to the Dead Sea and other things. Yeah, I spent like my mornings eating breakfast with this Palestinian family, like dates, eggs, pita bread. It was good. I mean, what's amazing about Jericho are all the dates everywhere. I remember just eating dates. Like, there would be this one mosque that had just like free dates outside, and I would just like, I put like a bunch of dates in my shirt or my pockets, and I would just like walk around just like eating dates. And I survived off of pita bread and hummus for couple of months basically. Like, yeah, it's funny. It's like you really don't need much. But yeah, so I would pray in the masjid every day. I was like curious, you know. I'm just like, let me live that life. Let me see what this is all about. And after a couple of weeks, you know, I was there for maybe 3 months. Yeah, this imam named Hersham took me under his wing. We went on a group trip throughout Jericho with a group of young men, learning all about Islam, ultimately being converted to Islam at the end of this journey. It was a pretty cool trip. I mean, you know, you get to learn the ways of Muhammad, sleep on the floor of the mosque, fasting, prayer, you know, all the customs and stuff. I think I think in terms of like religions, yeah, Islam, yeah, I actually enjoyed my time practicing Islam. And you know, being in Jericho was interesting. Like I would go from masjid to masjid, and we would just, you know, set up camp and just sleep on the floors. And like I remember going from like door to door and like gathering people in the community to come and pray with us and just sort of like have meals with us and stuff. So yeah, I mean, you know, the idea is like I went there out of sheer curiosity, just on a whim, you know, taking the path from the north to Jericho without much consideration. I mean, a lot of the things and places I've been to, I don't really think about it too much. I don't do much planning, you know. And I think life, it's just so short. It's like, what are we to do with our time, you know, our short time on this earth? And maybe just considering every single day as your last and just taking more risks generally is what I learned from that experience. Because yeah, you never know, like you could die tonight or, you know, in your sleep or something. And it's like maybe the memories and experiences we have, you know, at the end of our lives maybe are truly what matters most. For, you know, these experiences I've had, I can sort of always return to and always find wisdom from, and sort of just have them in my head and just sort of like cherish them. You know, where in this world we have unlimited, you know, hedonistic pleasures, yummy food options, alcohol, drugs, dance parties, whatever. But really, like that notion of YOLO, like you think of YOLO, like let's get wasted, YOLO, like let's go to the club, let's go take some shots of vodka and like, you know, live our day like it's our last. Let's just go and, you know, get drunk or whatever. It's like, no, like let's get drunk off of life, you know, like that's my motto. It's not about, you know, doing all of the things that like are external and like pleasure seeking, but to enrich your life with experiences and to cherish moments over materials. Yeah, it seems like a good one. After my time spent in this Palestinian city, I decided afterwards that I was still curious about traveling and I wanted to do more, and so I volunteered with the Peace Corps as a rural aquaculture promotion specialist in Zambia, Africa. And I learned the local language, Ujibemba. I lived in a village with the host family, and you know, I overcame a lot of fears on this trip. The first day I arrived, literally, like I was introduced to my mud hut. Here's where you're gonna sleep for the next couple of months. You know, here you are, like here's your, you know, I opened the door. There's a fucking scorpion just like there, and I remember like picking up a rock and just smashing it over its head. I'm like, all right, looks like I'm on an adventure, you know. Like I would be going to bed, I would look up and see like spiders and creepy crawlers and all these noises, you know, like you're going to bed under a mosquito net. You're like, God forbid a mosquito comes in and I get malaria or something, and, you know, you have to take those malaria medications. It's like, talk about overcoming fears, living in a village where there's like nothing but you and like the wild is pretty fucking scary actually. And so overcoming these like fears has taught me a lot, where I'm pretty foolish, you know. Like I remember going into the bathroom one day, which is essentially just like a hole in the ground, you know, like the little like outhouse kind of deal you get in the villages, and where you have to like squat and like take a shit in a hole, or and so yeah, I was using the restroom. It was night, and I had like a headlamp so I could see at night. And I remember I was going to piss, and like I looked up with my headlamp and I saw a snake like dangling from the roof, and I just started screaming like, Bamayo, Bamayo, which basically, hey, are those the wharves? I think those are the wharves. Yeah, those are the wharves. I was learning about that. Oh, the geese. Get your Wawa hoagie. And so I started screaming, Bamayo, Bamayo, which just means mother, like a little kid. And my host mother came out and just like whacked the snake away. And we spent that evening sort of just laughing hysterically over a meal and just like went to bed. And you know, during this trip I was shocked by, there was one time where I was trudging through this swamp in a thunderstorm. Such an inconvenience. I had a bucket of fish on my head, trudging through this fucking storm. When I got home, I was shocked by lightning on my foot. I spent a lot of time like hitchhiking on the back of just like random pickup trucks, and you know, just taking my camera around, you know, just throwing myself onto the bike each morning and just taking the dirt path just into the unknown. Like I wouldn't know where I'm gonna be the next day. You know, I would just take the bike and just explore. You know, I would just take the bike and take these dirt paths, kind of like this, you know, this dirt path, but I would just, like, there was some crazy dirt paths that like you can't even fathom without just like seeing them, the way they turn and go. And it's like they're not really, you know, carved out like these paths. You know, you kind of have to like bunny hop over little ditches and stuff, and go through sand and keep your balance right. The other day I was biking with my buddy Umberto. I fell on my ass on the bike like 3 times in a row because it was so muddy. I think my new electric bike, like the wheels are so slick or something, they don't have good traction, and it rained. You know, I'm a fool sometimes. It's but maybe that's why you know, I have such adventures. And maybe in this short life, you know, to just follow your own path and do things that you deem worthy of your time and fuel your curiosity with the camera. You know, where even just walking here in Philadelphia and just exploring the same streets each day, I take all of these experiences with me and sort of you know, I feel like the world is just so open, you know. It's like this is such an open world for us to just explore and conquer and experience all sorts of things. And you know, just like rather than acquiring things and collecting things and, you know, buying the cool cars and whatever to enrich yourself with experiences and to throw yourself out there into the unknown at the front lines of life. This is, to me, what keeps me going out there each morning with curiosity and lust for life. And yeah, I think the notion of just treating every day like your last, you only live once, you know, like just treating the life, like think of the video games, right? You die in the video game, you can respawn and restart, but out here, you know, you die, you're fucking done. You know, there's no modern, you know, I'm not playing Modern Warfare, you know, Call of Duty. I can't, you know, I plant my tactical insertion down at the bedroom each night, and I like wake up in the bedroom with my eyes wide open, you know, ready for the next day. But realistically, when you're dead, and I don't know, I think just like shaping my worldview around mortality is wise. And so yeah, life short, Life short. Dante. End quote. Life short. But yeah, to just be like those experiences have taught me to be fearless. Like even thinking of my time in Mexico City, I guess like a year or two ago, and like I would venture into Tepito, and like everyone says don't go to Tepito, you know, there's like cartel or something, like the drug guys or bad guys are there. It's like, bro, I was walking around Tepito dancing with strangers, getting free tacos. Okay, so I don't know, it's like you kind of have to shape your own worldview and just live life now and not be caught up with other people's perceptions of things. Like that's why I think it's important to have experiences without any preconceived notions of what you will find. So I never do research, I never think about it, I just do it. You know, even exploring the mountain ranges in Mexico City, I remember I wanted to go to the outskirts. I always find that the outskirts of the cities provide the most interesting views and photos to make. And so yeah, when I went to the outskirts, everyone was saying don't go there, like there's no police, it's dangerous. Meanwhile, I found myself at the top of the mountain, like partying with this guy who was building a home at the peak of the mountain with this like beautiful cross overlooking the whole city, and just making one of my best photos from the trip, right? And having the greatest experiences that I've had during the whole trip. And so there's something about just following your intuition, overcoming fear, fueling yourself with curiosity and courage, and going on the adventure of a lifetime, basically. Like each and every day, I think it's possible, even in your hometown, just engaging with new people. You know, I'm not afraid to speak with strangers and just have new experiences. Even here in Philadelphia, it's pretty amazing life. Like I think what makes life so fucking awesome is the fact that you do only get one life. So yeah, maybe treating every day like your last is really wise. Where my time spent in the village, it's taught me that you really don't need that much to prosper and thrive, you know, like clean water, a roof over your head, a family, you know, a church, some sort of foundation. Like those things are what really matter most, you know, whatever's close to you. And yeah, I just think about this morning, just woke up thinking about it, wanted to share some thoughts with the GoPro Mini 1080p 30 FPS exported to 720p for that crispy HD small file size quality. And here we are at the elevated view, my favorite spot to catch the sunrise on the other side of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I'll go stand over there. But you know, can you live every day on repeat and still thrive? Can you live the same exact day over and over again? Can you walk the same lane every single day but always find something to uplift in a photograph? I believe that by championing the mundane and finding beauty in the discarded and the things that are so small, just slowing down and appreciating all the details, yeah, it just reminds me to be grateful for these little things that are so beautiful. And everything becomes photographable when you open your mind to this idea of beauty in the mundane. Da-da-da, 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 YOLO! Could you live the same day every single day and still thrive? Bike day.